We're here for a very simple reason, to defend the right of every child, born and unborn, to fulfill their God-given potential. For 47 years, Americans of all backgrounds have traveled from across the country to stand for life. And today, as President of the United States, I am truly proud to stand with you. I want to welcome tens of thousands. This is a tremendous turnout. Tens of thousands of high school and college students who took long bus rides. And to make you feel even better, there are tens of thousands of people outside that we passed on the way in. If anybody would like to give up their spot, we can work that out. We have a tremendous group of people outside. Thousands and thousands wanted to get in. This is some great success. Young people are the heart of the March for Life. And it's your generation that is making America the pro-family, pro-life nation. The life movement is led by strong women, amazing faith leaders, and brave students who carry on the legacy of pioneers before us, who fought to raise the conscience of our nation and uphold the rights of our citizens. You embrace mothers with care and compassion. You are powered by prayer and motivated by pure, unselfish love. You're grateful, and we are so grateful. These are incredible people, to be joined by Secretary Alex Azar and Kellyanne Conway.
Hey, we're back. It's been a little while since we've done another Wawaka Experience where I sit down with a guest. This week I got a good buddy of mine, Jesus Hernandez Garcia. I tried doing the best I could. It's like I told you, as hillbillies, sometimes we have a little bit of trouble.
Don't we all?
We were talking about coaching earlier. I had one student, he was from Brazil, and his name was probably this long, and it was Guy, and it was and I felt so bad, and as I kept, like what I was doing with you with your last name, I go repeat it so I don't screw it up. And finally, I couldn't get it. I absolutely, kids were all laughing at me, and I go, I'm just gonna call you Guy because I cannot. I said, I'm so sorry. He goes, no, you can't do it.
Sometimes simple is better.
Yeah. No, but I was excited. Well, me and you know each other through work. I worked with your brother Oscar, and too bad Oscar couldn't be here too. Yeah. I like old Oscar, but then got to know you once I got transferred over to this plant, and you and I have been chatting, and we got to know each other really well, I think, and I personally too, and that's one thing I like working over there, because I think the people care about each other too. Really,
yeah, I agree.
I made some really good friends out of Crossroads, to tell you the truth, and you're one of them.
Thank you, appreciate
And
that.
George, if he ever gets his butt here, he's still texting me. I could hear it dinging. But we were talking about you went to the March of Life with a church group of kids in Washington, D.C. a few weeks ago, and I was excited because that's an issue of mine that I'm going to try and not. I got to disconnect myself a little bit, because whenever I think about it, I kind of tear up. Well, just tell me about your experience while you guys went down with your group.
Sure. And before we get going, Jason, I just want to say that my point about sharing this is to let everyone know that there are options to whatever choices they're thinking about making, whether it's abortion. So I just want to start there. Now, if you've been a big, if you yourself had an abortion, if you're listening to this, or maybe if you're a male and you know somebody who's had an abortion and you were affected by it, I just want to let you know that there are people who are out there and they're willing to help you out.
The site you took. Tell everybody about the site, because I did not know there was anything out there like this.
And did I actually until just recently, where somebody mentioned it in one of the podcasts I was listening to, and actually I received emails from the Diocese of Gary, Indiana, and they were actually the ones who sent me this. So because
they're located in Gary,
Indiana.
Okay.
So they are actually hosting a weekend retreat to help anybody that's male or female that have been impacted by an abortion, and they do this in the fall and in the spring, and this spring, and starting on March 6th through March 8th in Michigan City, Indiana, they will have a retreat, and you can go online to rachelsvineyard.com.
Yeah, we got it up on the screen here.
rachelsvineyard.org.
rachelsvineyard.org. Let me repeat that. I butchered it. rachelsvineyard.org.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can go on there for more information and the cost of all that, and they do have financial help available if that's an issue. But I want to encourage anyone that that if you don't know if it's impacted you, it's a great opportunity to really looking inside yourself and see where you are, and allow God to come into your life and heal you, because it is an important matter, and it does take time.
Yeah, well, I can testify to that, and like I said, I got to distance myself a little bit so I can through this. I was excited. I had no idea there was anything out there like this, Rachel's Vineyard, because I myself have been impacted by my son when I was married, and my wife went behind my back, and we even already had a name. My name's son was Colt, and he would be 27 this coming June. And if anybody knows me, I'm usually right around my birthday, and they think, well, he just don't like getting older, and that has nothing to do with it. It's always been a reminder to me that my son will be 20, every year, and his birthday would have been in the same month as mine. But I still carry the pain of that, and this is 27 years after the fact. And I'll be honest. Well, you know me. I'm a rough guy. I don't always. The thing is, I say I'm a Christian, but I'm a rough. And everybody's in the process of improving themselves, and I'm trying to. But it's one of those. And like we were talking before the camera's on, we don't want people to think just because you have an abortion, we hate your guts, we're damning you. We're not saying that. We're saying, there's other choices out there, but if you do, I'm not going to hate your guts for it. But like this, help people heal. I wish I knew something about this, because I drank my way through it. There was 3 years of my life after this happened that I can't really. I almost got fired from a job that I worked at for years because I was a drunk. I couldn't handle it. So and you see me welling up now. I'm almost 50 years old, and it still affects me.
Yeah, and that's why we want to just clarify that the gospel talks about protecting life, and it also talks about the mercifulness that God how He is. He's a merciful God, and we don't want to condemn anyone, because we understand that people have made choices under hard pressure, and sometimes we don't make those we don't make the correct choice under that type of pressure. But God is merciful, and He wants you to be healed. And Jason, I'm very sure of this, that your child did nothing wrong.
Yeah,
and He is enjoying the glory of God.
I always say the first thing when my number's up, and the first person I want to see is Jesus Christ. The person I'm going to be listening for that dumb laugh, because everybody teases me about my laugh. I'm going to listen for that. I'm like, that's my boy. I can't wait to meet my son. That thing, it makes me feel better about it, because I can't wait to meet him and see what he's like, and hopefully he has a sense of humor.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah. So. Just know that that's out there, and if any other questions, if you need any other help, I'll make myself available. I'm not an expert on this, and like I was telling Jason, this was my first time attending the March for Life in Washington.
So what was the environment like there?
Man, so I'll tell you just how this all happened. Okay, so currently in the church where I go to at Holy Angels, we don't have an actual youth group.
Okay.
But we do have other programs where youth are involved. Like myself, I help guide kids through their confirmation process, which is the sacrament for me, and it's just basically helping them discern whether they want to be part of the church or not.
Oh,
kind of like
okay.
The Amish community here.
Yeah, they go through that process. I'm following you.
The way we approach them is through education and rationalizing and helping them understand what it is that Jesus actually came and taught. So, one of those teachings is, obviously, care for everybody. Love everybody, because that's kind of where we're at right now with the terms of abortion. We're at a point where we are trying to define, at what point are we a human? At what point do we have human rights?
Yeah, that's always been a big question. I've seen debates, and they're like, okay, where do you consider this person a human being? That's the first question we need to address.
That's
really.
Right. And now there's several laws that are trying to be passed to declare life at conception. And,
well, I think Indiana's been. I don't want to comment too much on, because I don't know exactly what's going on, but there is some stuff going on in our own state right now with it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because I think Indiana's kind of pushing towards more at the moment of conception.
Yeah.
And and the thing is, I want people to be open-minded with this. I mean, I have friends that have different opinions on this than me. That's fine. I'm willing to talk to anybody about it. So I hope nobody gets upset over this. Well, but if they do, that's their personal. We're not trying to be insulting to anybody.
Yep. No, and the idea is to come up, and I'll be straight. I want to protect life as much as I can.
Yes. Yeah.
But sometimes, it's like I was listening to something earlier. They were mentioning that. This was
that thing's kind of unstable. You're all right.
A person. Here, how do I tell you?
That thing just. Okay, yeah.
So this is a person who they have a whole ministry based around chastity.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and I'll talk briefly about this, but he used to go to clinics and try to talk to people out of going into an abortion and having an abortion, trying to women, And he said, well, by this point, it's almost too late. So he realized that he was talking to them a little too late. So he started doing his chastity project. And now chastity, and I think that is what it's called. So you can look him up. It's called the Chastity Project. I think it's Matt Everett.
Okay.
And he talks to high schoolers and whatnot, but we shouldn't confuse chastity with celibacy and abstinence, because they're all different things.
Okay.
And when it comes to sexuality, we were created. I mean, we are humans. We have urges that we need to sometimes understand, but if we never start talking about them, so if you're a parent, I am advocating that. Talk to your children, talk to your kids, teenagers, even if they're already in college. Because a lot of the times, like I was telling my mom the other day, I grew up in a single parent home because my dad passed away when I was in I was 7 years old when we got in a car accident.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know about that.
I have
That's what I've never asked you about that. I didn't want to.
I always joke around and tell kids, "Oh yeah, I got in a knife fight." They're so curious about my scar. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got in a knife fight."
So nobody's gonna mess with you there.
So
that's what I did not know that. I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And I grew up, and I'm gonna talk about what I think are some of the causes into what's going on. And I know, I don't know, I don't want to confuse anyone with the way I'm speaking, but I grew up without a father figure in my household, and that led to one thing to another, and I've spoken publicly about one of the issues that I was struggling with when I was younger, and that was pornography, because I grew up like the internet, like brand new.
Yeah, so and that's the thing. It's really out. I don't know how old you are. I know I got some years on you.
Yeah.
See, the
28.
Oh, geez, I got a lot of years on you.
Yeah.
See, I can sit there and preach, keep kids away from porn and all this. That crap is all over the place. Parents nowadays have way more of a challenge than parents in my day, because porn in my day, you had to go out and you had to face your own shame and buy a freaking porn mag and then hide it from your parents under the tree out in the woods. And mom's probably like, "Oh my God, that's why he was always out in the woods." But no, and it's only natural. Kids are curious.
Yep.
And but everything's so thrown in their face. But the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, definitely.
I could have went to Showgirl and it'd have been the same thing.
Okay, now here's my thing with that. Okay. Now we can't be sexist, because the year before there was a dude literally singing at that halftime show.
And he was doing something nasty too.
He had no shirt on. Like, come on, like,
and that's sexual. I mean, sex is thrown at these kids left and right.
Now, with like Shakira, because that's who was there, right?
Yeah.
Now you gotta understand, if you've never listened to any of her music, this is what her music is like, because it's a very.
I like the beat of it.
It's a very upbeat type of music, and for one, there's very few other people that I've seen themselves move like the way this woman can. So definitely that's a gift she has, and she's been able to profit from this, and that's why she was there.
That's how she makes a living.
And then you also got to understand that the culture in Miami at this point, whether it's good or bad, that's
a lot different than it is in Wawaka, Indiana.
Right, because for one, you have you have a mix of different cultures. You have Cubans, you have Puerto Ricans, you have Mexicans,
and that was coming. You can see the Cuban influence on that, as I really like. Believe it or not, and I haven't been on Noble County much, but I've always had for like the Cuban culture that if I was gonna be anything else, I'd probably been from that culture, because I really that phone, I should have shut the phone off. We're just gonna struggle through it. But I really jive with that culture. I don't know. There's something about it I really get.
I feel like it's like a class. They
like the tango dancing and all
classic,
that.
Just old. Just this old romance, old school romance.
This was more. Yeah, that's how I view it. And
it's funny. Somebody was commenting. Or actually, my friend we were talking about the halftime show, and they're like, So my coworker came to me, and she's like, "Oh, it was so disrespectful that Jennifer Lopez had the Cuban flag merged with the American flag."
Oh,
I'm like, that wasn't the Cuban flag. That was the Puerto Rican flag.
Yeah,
that was a Puerto Rican flag, and it actually looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because Puerto Rico is actually
part of the
United States.
It's actually, because it's not a state yet, but it's actually a territory it's territory of the United States is how that goes.
So,
but
they have their own struggles too. But so that's what basically because the Super Bowl was in Miami, and that's what Miami called.
That's what it's always been like that too. And in a way, I mean, at first I saw the outrage on Facebook. I didn't really. Because I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I haven't watched how many Super Bowls just based on the fact I'm a football guy.
Yeah.
Now I remember when football was played during the Super Bowl was played during the day. The halftime show, they didn't put as much stress on it. I won't watch the game now, and I know what the NFL did. They wanted to bring in more viewers. I understand that, but for the old school guys like me, I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time because it drives me nuts. But I saw the outrage online, so I drew it up saying if there's anything there, and yeah, it was sexual, and but it wasn't. It was more of a culture thing, like you said. I think because I saw the Cuban and the Latin.
We're not really into pole dancing,
What's that?
See, we're not really that much into pole dancing, though.
Yeah, the pole. When they brought the pole, now that was a little too much. Yeah. But what this the fact still remains that kids nowadays is getting sex thrown at them. Tell you the truth, it'd be very hard to be a parent nowadays because I look at my little worker Carly. I got her picture right there, and me and her dad both. Her dad's my best friend, and I consider her my kid basically, and we really has been on top of it. She spends more time with us than she does with her people her own age because we're just, I think this may sound sexist. If it's a son, if it's a boy, he'd spend a lot of times too, but we won't worry near as much. I know that sounds sexist, but I know what I was like when I was a teenage boy. And the fact that my buddy has 2 daughters I'm very close to, we really worry about it. So they're all, number one thing I think is spend as much time with your kids as you possibly can. I mean, really, and not be their buddies. I mean, we're trying to show Carly and Kinsey, this is the way we want you to be. We want you to be fine, outstanding young women, and not. We want them to know that there's someone out there that cares. Me and her family cares about them so much that they don't have to go wandering around looking for someone else who cares, and that can lead into other bad decisions.
That's right.
And then those can follow because. Just like you're talking about, that guy was talking about, when he was talking about people that are going for the abortion, he was talking to them, kind of too late at that moment. Yes. Well, let's talk about the decisions they have before this happens, because there are choices. Yep. They want to talk about choices. There are choices before this actually happens, and the choice you have many choices with then that's your body. Yes, absolutely.
And that's we can jump into the issue. That part of the argument for pro-choice is that women should have the autonomy to decide what they do with their body, right? But the thing is, though, that once you're pregnant,
whose body are we talking about here?
Right.
I've heard guys debate this, and they talk about, if they want to go down that road and talk about, how many hands and feet do you have? Do you have 8 or 4 of each? Because if in that kind of reasoning, she's claiming the baby is her body. Well, that's someone smarter than me will have to describe it, but
well, we got to talk about. Well, one of the things that we can ask is, why do people think that abortion is right? First of all,
yeah. I mean,
part of it is because they think that it's their body, so therefore it's their choice, right? But the thing is that that you're not talking about one body anymore, because the moment you're pregnant, there's literally another body forming within you, which is. The purpose of the uterus is to basically...
That's the baby's home.
Right.
And nourish that baby and it grow inside that home, right?
That's right.
Well, just perfect example that I was telling you, worked on a hog farm before I got in the trailer industry. And we had 600 sow herd. at the time. We had this one sow. She went lame, but she was pregnant. So usually if something goes lame where it's suffering, I will drop it right then and there into suffering. Because believe it or not, even though it was a pig, I still cared about.
Still a life form.
Yeah, I still cared about its comfort level and everything else. Now you mix in the whole fact that she was pregnant. Then I had a complex problem there. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to drop her because those pigs were still alive in her, and she wasn't suffering bad. I pulled her out of the general population, isolated her so she wasn't getting. Because the other hogs would, something goes down, they're ruthless. They will take it down.
Right.
So got her out of that, isolated her in her own pen, and tried to make her as comfortable as I could. Fed her, and it's extra time, but you got to do it. I mean, you got to do it. And if she wasn't bred, I would have dropped her and put her in her misery and been done with it. It'd been better for her and everything else. But then it got to the point where it went on for so long, and her body was just giving up. I thought, there's no way that litter is alive in her. And I made the decision. She's suffering too much. I can't stand to see this thing suffer anymore. So I went and got the. Excuse me if this gets. I'm trying to make it as sound as good as I can. I don't want to get graphic or anything, but I went and got the gun to put her over her misery, as I was certain there's no way that litter has survived so far. Well, I got her out of the pen, got her outside, dropped her, and because when you shoot a life form, if you're a hunter or a farmer, you have to do this. You know the process, because once the nerves they kick around, it's not a pain thing. It's their nervous system going on just overload. And after it got done, she was real still. I saw her stomach waves. Oh God, those things are still alive. I made a mistake. So I ran to the farrowing house, grabbed one of the workers, grabbed a couple scalpels. I said, come with me, grab buckets. And I was sprinting back in a panic. And sliced her open and got the sack, is what we called it. I just opened. This is definite proof. This is different life forms inside the same body. Those pigs were still alive inside. Thank God I got to her in time. I cut open the sack and I started handing it. I can't remember her name, the gal that worked there at the time, but started handing her stuff. I was pulling them out as fast as I could to get them. I said, rub them, get them, breathe it, make sure. And then she had a litter of 12, and out of those 12. Because at that time, then we had to find another sow acceptor, and there's a way to do that. You spray their nose with this stuff they smell, and then spray her whole litter, and then you spray these things, and it tricks her. So out of those 12, we saved 9 of them. 3 of them passed away. But to me, that's proof right there that those are different life forms. Those are different entities inside of her. That's how nature works. I mean, I know it's a crude way of explaining it, but that's what I know.
Well, and you know that is part of what the discussions that are going. You know that, like I said, this is part of the discussions that are going on that we need to be talking about, because if we believe that life begins at conception, then once a woman knows that she is pregnant, the positive pregnancy test is no longer saying that it's just her body. That's what that positive pregnancy test is saying, that it's no longer just her body anymore.
Yeah.
And if you believe in bodily rights, then you need to protect the bodily rights of the unborn.
Yeah.
Okay, because they are. How can I say that? Oh yeah, I'm all about women's rights, but then what about the women that haven't been born that are being killed? Like, let's look at China.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about briefly. I don't want to take too much time about that, but China, right? They have this policy of one child.
Mm-hmm.
So what they culturally have done is they have valued men lower for some reason.
Yes.
Well, what do you think if a family finds out they only have one child? If they find out they're going to have a girl, what do you think they're going to want to do?
I've heard there's a big problem with that going on.
Most of the females are getting aborted.
Yep.
Now, fast forward 20 years, you're having a male. Well, what do the males want?
Yeah.
They want to reproduce. Most of them, unless they're becoming celibate.
Well, they're having a problem with there's not enough women to marry.
Right, because they're all being killed. So if you're saying that you want to, that you are all about women's rights, then what about the women that were forming in the womb?
Yeah, that are being destroyed.
Are you speaking for her behalf as well?
Yeah.
So
and who knows what that baby? That's the thing is, who knows what that baby will become in life? Could this be the next person that figures out how to cure cancer?
Sure.
Could this be the next person that figures out, be the next
civil rights leader?
Civil rights leader or something like that?
Let me put it to you this way, though, Jason. Argue, and this is a way that you, if you're pro-life, this is something that you can say, and you're wrong if all you're doing is thinking, oh, this person could have been a great person.
Yeah.
That's not why, personally, that's not why I protect life.
Yeah.
Because I don't think about what they could know. Because the moment we become existent, we have the right, just like you, just like I, everybody should have the same rights.
Oh, absolutely.
And what is one of the fundamental rights that this country provides us with? The right to life.
Yeah.
That's
the most basic right.
It's preamble of the Constitution.
Right to life, happiness.
And
my ignorance is showing in pursuit of happiness. Yeah.
And the thing
life,
is,
liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That's how I knew I'd get it.
But that's the thing that we gotta be equal in all things that we do.
Yeah.
Because that's just a silly argument if you ask me.
I kind of wish that because I want to do more of having. I kind of wish I had someone with a different point of view on this sitting here, because it'd be a really good discussion then, because you and me are pretty much on the same page.
And the thing is, though, that like we're talking about right now about some of the arguments, the pro-choice arguments, and really some of them they really lack a lot of things. They lack the fundamental aspect to be able to be held down. Because at the end of the day, like I said, how can you say that you're for all about women's rights, but you're not protecting the life of the women that haven't been
exactly
haven't been born, the unborn?
Yeah.
So that's one thing, and like going a little bit back to my body, my rights, right?
Yeah.
All the physical reactions a woman has when she's pregnant are because of the presence of another body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, here's something, and I'm looking up right now. The founder of Planned Parenthood is that and I've talked to people, and I wondered, am I wrong on this? So in my mind, I'm like, God, I don't want to pay for it. Because it's government funded, therefore you and me, our taxpayers, are tax money is funding this. So, I know they do, because that's the argument. They don't do just abortions; they do other services. But there's a lot of those Planned Parenthood facilities that are mainly abortion is a major moneymaker for them.
Oh, it's a huge money. It's $1 billion.
And the founder of the Planned. Let me see. I'm trying to type with one hand here. Parenthood is actually it's a woman. I'm looking up right now so I can.
And you do that. Let me just point out. There's actually a movie called Unplanned. Oh my goodness! I have a copy of it. I was going to bring it.
I'd like to see that.
But it is a story of actually a lady. I forgot her name. Abby. It's her first name. She was running one of the best clinics in the United States, like one with the highest numbers of abortion and providing health care for women. But
Yeah.
man, you just have to watch this movie because
I'd like to see that.
it won't put things into perspective until you watch it. Especially if you're an advocate for pro-life,
Yeah.
you need to see this. And even if you're not, you need to see this because this is the reality of what's going on behind Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know, she was running this office, just kind of this, picture of what it is, and she's running this office, realizes that what she's doing is terrible, comes around and she leaves Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood comes after her, trying to, imagine how many different kind of lawyers Planned Parenthood
Oh yeah.
afford.
Oh yeah.
So they're trying to go after this woman. This woman's done literally nothing wrong, other than her subconscious just said enough is enough, and it's worth watching. It really, it's worth buying. It's worth supporting because this movie, you really don't. It helped me finally visualize what happens when there's an abortion, and you can go online and you can see all pictures of that. And,
I've looked up, and I couldn't look at it anymore.
Actually, we have video. I think in one of the videos we saw that. I think I might have recorded some of the
of an actual abortion.
There was people with holding some pictures of unborn fetuses and it's kind of giving people a visual of reality. Yes, and actually that some people said, "Oh, how can you show that to the little kids?" Well, they need to become aware because, for one, either they see what is or what an abortion can lead to, or what it does.
Yeah.
Or there will be an abortion.
Yeah.
Because they won't know the difference, and if we don't.
Well, because there was a study out there. If a woman gets, and I think it's a very good idea. Women that get sonograms, and they were on their way to get an abortion. If they get a sonogram and actually see, it's one of those.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Actually, and they spoke about that in that.
Yeah, because if they see their baby, how many like 80 or 90% said no, I'm not getting an abortion now because they saw their child. It's one of those things outside out of mind. If they don't see, all you see is a bump in your stomach. It's a bump. Right. It's just the same as in my house. I haven't seen my upstairs now how long. It's a mess. I guarantee it is because I just throw shit out there all the time. It's outside our mind. I know that's a cheap way of looking at it, but
and actually, Abby points out in that movie that part of the policy,
they talk about that?
Part of the policy.
I think it's a very good idea.
Show them the
sonogram child.
Yeah.
Now, if after that, I don't agree with you, but if you're able to do it after that, I'm not gonna say too much. I don't want to come off as judgmental. Just like we're talking about, God has mercy and everything. Yep. But boy, that's a lot of. After seeing a picture of your own child and then agreeing, no, I still want to do it.
You're killing your child. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're not doing anything else but killing.
Exactly. And I finally, her name was, I couldn't remember. Margaret Sanger. Yeah. I couldn't remember her name, but and here I'm just doing this on off the cuff here. It says something about her. She was trying to come up with contraceptives and all that. Basically, what I've heard now, this is coming out of a guy. I want to be fair. I don't know it all, and sometimes I am wrong, but I've heard she was a very racist person, and she really favored abortions in the black community because she basically wanted to do away with blacks, and so it was a way to, well, how do you stop
a population from growing?
Population from growing. Stop it
birth
from
control,
reproducing. Yes.
Make abortion accessible.
Yeah, I mean, stop it at its very core. It wasn't one of those where I was trying to look for a reason to make. It was just one of those subjects that came up that I'm like, holy cow, and it turns out, that is true. She was very racist.
Well, and you know, even beyond that, just was the whole, all that she did. I mean, look at her legacy. How many children have died because?
Oh, absolutely.
Of what she thought was right.
Yeah, this is the legacy of this woman. Is millions of kids. Well, and I don't know the facts, but I know per year how many millions of lives have been taken because of this. And then we're dealing with stuff like I was showing you before. This governor of Virginia was talking about a third term abortion. And there's a lot of on the Democratic side is jumping on board with third term abortion.
It's such an inhumane. I mean,
and
for one, killings, we already established killings wrong. Two, the way they do it, it's ridiculous.
They tear the baby apart.
Right. So they
crush his skull.
They twist it, and then they just piece by piece take it out.
It's the most barbaric. I can't think of. It's the same concept back in, let's say, the Roman days or whatever. I can't remember what they call it, but they tied a horse to each limb and then whipped them.
Sacrifices.
Same thing.
And what is it that we're sacrifice? What is it that all these sacrifices are being done to, or done for? The culture of death. We live in a culture of death. Where we don't want to accept the reality that there's absolute things. We live in a culture of relativism.
And here's one thing I want to bring up. Is I was saying this last night. Is I see memes on Facebook and people that support her body, her rights, and then learning to how to talk to people. I try to question my own views as much as I possibly can. I want to be right. So the thing to do is, take their strongest points and put it to the test on your beliefs. And I've seen a lot of memes where they're talking about abortion, where they'll have one little cartoon thing and say, people that are for the baby's rights and everything say, while the woman's pregnant, we care. Well, then they say, well, once the woman has had the baby, then they basically want to paint us as such as, no, it's your deal, you deal with it, and we just leave them high and dry.
Right. They don't tell them the what comes after the postpartum, about after they have the abortion, and women are getting depressed, and their bodies are suffering.
There's huge deal.
All these hormone instability.
But if they have the kid too, there are programs out there to help.
Right.
If you're struggling, let's say she is a single mother. If you're struggling, there are. And I'm all for helping struggling families. The family unit is the most important thing in our country, in any country, to tell you the truth. And they're making it seem like a guy like me that has the opinion I have on this subject, that I don't care once that kid's born. No, I do care, because there are programs out there for young women that's struggling, and it does take a community to raise a kid. You and I both coach, and when you're coaching, you can't help but get close to them little boogers. And there's many times where, through my 20-some years, I don't know how, I was telling you, they told me to figure out how many years I coached, and I don't know how many years I coached, but been times where I know kids, when you can very much figure out if they coming up in a rough household or not. And I've went into people's houses before, not forced my way in, but they're in a shoe, and I try to see what's going on. Well, let's find somebody that can help. As I've told many parents, I'm not your guy, but I am the guy. Okay, let's start asking questions, because you know me, I will start picking around until we find. And there's a couple of families that the kid all of a sudden drop out of school. Well, I paid him a visit, and then I find out what was going on, and I'm kind of glad I did, because I think I might have helped a couple of families. It's not, we care about the kids that are born too. Don't give that false narrative that we don't. That kind of grinds my gears when I see that. It's like, no, you're putting that assumption on me. You're trying to villainize me like I'm some sort of monster that don't care about the kids that are born. I really do.
Well, that's what being pro-life is all about.
Absolutely, we care about the life.
Care about life in general. Whether it's, I'm sure you care deeply about veterans who are homeless.
Yeah.
I'm sure you care deeply about. We hear about all the suicide that's going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Caring about that stuff is what helps us become pro-life, because every person is worth something.
Yeah.
Every life is worth living, no matter what kind of circumstances you're in. Because they're just circumstances. Your circumstances do not make you who you are. Me working at Crossroad RV doesn't mean that I'm
it's all about RVs and that's it.
That just happens that's
it's one aspect of your life.
That's where my profession is at the moment. And that's why I do it.
Yeah.
But I don't define myself. I don't let it define who I am.
Yeah. Well, and talking to you today, I got to know you even better, because I hope George comes and we'll do a several one. But we said we set on a subject. We'll talk on a subject and immigration. Mm-hmm. You're not from this country.
That's right.
And but
I am more American than some people. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you are. Well, and like I told you, damn, I'm glad you're here. Yeah. I really am. And it is a complicated subject. But I'm getting more open-minded about it now. I've always had friends. When I was in high school, you're talking about somebody that grew up in a rural community and mostly saw just people right there in the bubble.
Right.
And I kind of grew up the same way. I had a few friends that were from Mexico, not many. Mm-hmm. It was just starting in West Noble area when I was in school.
I had Mexico, Indiana.
Yeah, that's what they call it now. It's Little Mexico. But but here's a funny story though. Friend that was in my brother's class. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's Mexican. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to embarrass the guy. But he flunked Spanish his senior year.
Oh yeah. But that's a problem now, believe it or not.
We were all laughing. All of us hicks were laughing. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna say his name because he'll kick my butt.
You're Mexican,
I go,
man.
how the hell can you flunk Spanish? He goes, screw you guys. He goes, you flunk English all the time and no one pass an eye. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna point there. It was hilarious.
It is true, actually.
But like you said, every life worldwide, God put him there for a reason. And what Mexico is going through right now, because we're talking about it off camera, and if George gets here, we're gonna cut this and we're gonna do one on immigration.
Sure.
But I do like the discussion you and I had about it. That you got the drug cartel down there, and I'm becoming more understanding why you need to get the hell out of there. Because, Mexico, it's illegal to own a firearm. You can't really fight back down there, can you? You're screwed.
You can go hunting if you can get.
How the hell can you go hunting?
There's one military store where they sell guns, and that's in Mexico City. In Mexico, one of Mexico's national basis.
So what kind of gun can you buy down there? Do you know?
I don't know. Old ones, I'm assuming.
It's probably
something
you're not gonna be able to fight the cartel. You're not gonna fight the cartel.
No, you really can't get a gun. I mean, that's pretty much where.
Well, that's what I was telling you. That I was watching Joe Rogan, and he had I can't remember the guy's name, but he said the most important thing for you guys to know is you keep a hold of your Second Amendment rights, because down there they're defenseless. And well, my friends from Nigeria, they're defenseless because they don't have firearms, so they have the terrorists just overrun them. Mm-hmm. And my main concern, and I think we got to know who.
Right, and that's where I was actually thinking about this earlier. It's like you see a fence out there right on the field.
Yeah.
Somebody had to put that fence. Why did they put that fence?
Yeah.
And if we don't know why that fence was put, why you need to understand why something was done to be able to understand it or change it or or make it better. Yeah. For that matter. And I think a lot of people don't see that. They don't see that they need to understand why that was put there in the first place.
Yeah.
With safety, I agree. I don't disagree. There's people with
that's my main concern.
But the thing is, okay, let's think about it. Let's think about it in a big picture. How many American homes really own a gun? Most of the houses.
Oh yeah, I don't know how many guns here. Yeah.
So we're concerned about other people coming in, and I agree. We should be concerned.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, like if we want to talk about drugs, where are most of the drugs going to? The United States.
It's going to the United States. They're a big consumer of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So especially like we've been hearing more recently in the news about fentanyl or whatever.
That it's something like that. Fentanyl or whatever the hell it's called.
And all this meth being busted, but because they're coming here, so if you're really concerned about that, then that's you should be an advocate for human health.
Yeah.
Because the drugs
drugs are financing the cartel.
Yeah.
I mean that's
and the sad part is though that now, even though let's say, I brought you some avocados, right? From Tell you 70% of the avocados produced in the world come from
your home state,
Mexico home state, right? So now you have all these guys who are suddenly have an interest in the avocado industry.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what it's been, that they ask people to pay the money for protection, but protection from who? From them.
Yeah.
It's like
so basically, it's a shakedown.
Yeah.
It's a shakedown, is what it is. Right. Is what they're doing.
And then you have that even in the highest political levels.
Yeah.
When it's public, and
these are the big boys. The thing is, and you may know more than I do. What is the answer to that? I know there's not just one answer, but what would?
Okay, for first, with most of you can look at the incarceration and stats and look at all that. And with just marijuana, I'm glad. And actually, here's the fact. Like me, even though I live in Michigan where recreational marijuana is illegal.
Yeah.
So I could walk into a store, buy some weed, and be cool.
Yeah.
But federally,
it's still a crime.
Yeah, it's still a crime. So therefore, because I have no legal status yet, I have a. Yeah. I'm a DACA recipient. Yeah. So under the Obama administration, and that's probably about one of the only things that I'm very thankful for. To
tell you the truth, I'm glad that because there is a lot of people like you.
And the thing is, though, that whether and that's really up in debate right now too, whether he had that power to be able to do that or not. Mm-hmm. The executive power, like, come on, man, like. How do you keep neglecting the people that are here? It's like I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna close my eyes and you're not, and think that you're not here, or just not notice that you're here. Like, come on, let's get real. Yes, people were brought here, like me. I was brought here as a minor, but because different research now, not everybody's gonna have a sob story about why they left their home country.
Yeah.
But let's look at where we are now. Now, am I saying that we should reward people for for breaking the law. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying we have an issue, we need to address it, and it needs to be addressed now.
Yeah.
Because, for one, these people, statistically speaking, oh man, I can talk about that. But
Yeah.
like just Latino women.
Yeah.
Like just talking because we're talking about abortion.
Yeah.
Latino women right now are the highest percentage of graduating college students.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
So think about 10, 15, 20 years down the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have all these women who, I mean,
They're doctors, lawyers, doing
and
all sorts
you're
of things.
willing to say, I want you out of my country because of because you have
and that's the thing.
Like,
we need to find a way.
Really enough, Is that really enough of an argument to say that you know, that in this country where we believe that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are some of the most sacred things to us, we're not going to let you be here just because of the way you came in.
Yeah, we need to find a way, and I agree to that. We need to find a way to. And the thing is, there's so much bipartisanship that's going on in our government right now. Is we have Democrat, Republican. One's gonna say high, and the other one's gonna say low. So I don't think anything's gonna get done this year. I don't know what the future's gonna hold. We need to find a way to get this process, get it done, deal with it, and get it to hell behind us. Mm-hmm. Because guys like you, there are some immigrants here that I want to stay here too. Sure. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I want the because you know me. I'm a Trump guy. I mean, I'm not a mindless Trump guy because I know there's some things that
you've made your decisions uneducated.
Yeah.
On looking at facts.
Yeah, because I've seen some stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, because I think the way he's worded things, and I told you this before, that I think I don't like that he's done is I don't think he meant to. I think it was more emotional. He's kind of villainized where this is all aimed at Mexico.
He also is running for, when he said some things that were very offensive. To me, like he said, he called Mexicans blah blah blah.
Yeah, the generalizing that he did is with that. The thing is, though,
I
can agree to that.
He's campaigning. That's okay. Like, who is he talking to? He's talking to people that have really no clue about what's going on with immigration. Yeah. They don't understand the immigration. They don't understand. You hear you see comments online say, "Oh, why don't they just become legal in the first place?" Like.
Yeah, and I will be honest with you.
If we could, we would.
We need to find a better way to do that. Because I'll be honest with you, I was one of those people that said that.
And I do believe, and because this is something that's current. Supreme Court just ruled not too long ago, maybe last week. So anybody who has received some sort of federal funding. I'm not 100% clear on how it's all going to work, but basically what it's saying that if you cannot prove that you're going to be self-sufficient when you're in the United States, you're not going to be granted a green card or a residency card. Okay. Yeah. Now there are people like I'll be straight. My mom. My mom came. She moved to the United States. She got pregnant. From a fella who never was present in my sister's life. Okay. And actually, this is related to abortion. Yeah. Okay. Here's a little bit of my personal testimony on this. So my mom got pregnant. She obviously knew she recognized what she did was not a smart decision. Getting with this man and whatever.
I've been with the wrong person before.
I don't hold my mom. I'm not judging my mom. This is not why I'm saying this, because my mom is a great mom.
No, I'm following you. Yeah.
And so she goes and gets her ultrasound done, and they tell her, well, there's a really high possibility that your daughter will be born with autism. Mm-hmm. So they were almost pushing her.
They were pushing her towards abortion.
And my mom's like, no.
Yeah.
And I thank God that even though, she's probably not the greatest pro-life even though she is pro-life. Yeah. She's not the type of person that'll go out and talk about this often. Yeah, be an advocate. But just because from knowing what's right and wrong,
just living the truth.
Killing your own child just because Do you
Where's
think
the-
that they're gonna be?
Yeah.
There's, like actually at the March for Life, there was a lot of people there whose kids had autism or had some sort of
Yeah.
disease or illness,
Well,
and they are doing fine because
Yeah.
you know, like they're good.
well, there's value in every person.
That's right, that's right.
Just like Down syndrome kids, because
Right.
I knew there was an issue about that a couple of years ago. You know, if they found out kids that have Down syndrome, they're gonna have an abortion. And have you ever met anybody that was Down syndrome?
Mm-hmm.
Those people have the capability of loving more than I wish we could all do
Right,
that.
that's right.
I've never seen a person capable of love as much as I do someone with, you know, how dare you call it a handicap? Because that guy knows it, or girl knows a lot more about life than us, because I don't know that much about love.
Or at least
the way
valued a lot
compared to
more.
them.
Yeah, they at least for sure valued a lot more because.
Oh man, they're.
No, just think about it. Like,
I couldn't even get my head around, you know, that guy that person not existing, because my God, there's a lot of love coming out of that person.
Yep, and no, I agree, and but so so they were pushing my mom, and you know, my sister was born just fine, thank God.
Oh yeah, so the doctors were wrong on the diagnosis.
And I mean, my sister's born just fine, and now she's advocating for you know, she's a pro-life. She went to the march with me, and
great.
and she was actually I was surprised because on the way back, you know, I can't believe that I forgot this. Like I remember that when my mom was going to the doctors and they were telling her, oh, you know, there's a chance of her having Down syndrome or autism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously they made her sad to think about. Oh well, because she didn't know what to expect. She didn't know that was going to come her way, and it kind of turned out quite the opposite. You know, my sister's such a vivid person that, you know, for her age, she's 15 years old.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, she's thinking at the level of a young adult. Like,
yeah,
she's a young adult, but like.
She's thinking of she's older than what her age is showing.
Right,
yeah,
that's right, and you know, and I'm so proud of her that she's turned out the way she has, and you know, one of the things that I'm thankful for is that when she was in middle school, you know, she's not my daughter. I don't have any legal responsibility to take care of her.
Yeah.
Me or my brother, you know, and because Dad was never present, we kind of took it upon ourselves that we were going to be
kind of the men of the family, kind of take care of stuff. You know,
because we understood what it had done for us. Like I told you, struggle with. I told you some of my struggles, and
when you're not having, I mean, when you don't have the male figure in your family, especially as you grew up not having your dad passed away, that's a rough hit, man.
Yeah, and you know, so we kind of decided, hey, you know, maybe public education is not going to be the best road for her.
Yeah.
Because she's going to have with her intelligence at that time, we're like, and then this is all things I think that we thought subconsciously. We're like, she's going to ask us questions, and we're not going to know how to answer them. So let's just send her to somebody that has a better idea.
Well, sometimes that's the best thing.
And it was probably the best investment that we've made so far in education. It was we sent her to a Catholic school, and you know, they showed her love, they taught her love, they talked about God. So God was never like this abstract object that was just out here.
Yeah.
No, God is love. God is you speaking love. God is you opening up your house, opening up your heart, opening up your soul to other people. That's what God is.
Yeah.
Because we're formed in His image, and when we don't act with love, when we don't speak the truth, even like what we're talking about right now, the killing is wrong, regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
We are not really speaking the message that God wants us to speak, and you know, that's why I'm really thankful that she's been able to share with some people like I said, on the way back, we were all kind of sharing a little bit about our experience in DC.
Yeah.
And she was one of the ones that really just opened up about that, and it's not an easy subject to talk about.
Oh no, it's very
saying hey, my mom thought about like doctors were telling my mom to abort me, and like here I am. It was like now you better expect her to be an advocate for life.
Oh yeah, that's wow. That is, you think about it. Your sister had people wanting to end her life, basically.
And that kind of leads me to the next thing too. That at what point do we decide? At what point is a person a person? What is the definition of a person? First of all,
let's see.
And actually, there is, because that the
definition of
United Nations, some people think the United Nations is a little bit of on the pro-choice side, but really, if you look
United Nations scares the hell out of me.
But look at their documents, at their preamble and at their constitution, and what it says, and I'll read to you what one of them says. It says, on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, all members of the human family have the right to life. Article 6 says, everyone ought to be recognized everywhere as a person before the law. Who's everyone?
Yeah. Well, that's the unborn.
Right.
If you want to say everyone, that includes the whole shebang.
And now that I'm reading this back to you, I'm thinking about, I don't know if you've heard about the Mexico City policy, where the President Trump is actually blocking any federal aid that is going to any organization outside of the United States where they are pushing for abortion.
Oh, nice.
So this was actually one of his. This is why the pro-life community really likes President Trump.
Trump has been doing a lot.
Besides the fact that he went there, we saw him speak to. So he passed this Mexico City. I don't know if he passed it or. I'm pretty sure he did. So fact check me on that because. But check out the Mexico City policy because that is blocking. So like funding, like we were talking about Planned Parenthood. Yeah, that's something that would block funding for Planned Parenthood. Yeah, because outside of the United States.
The thing is that me off is they were using my money
so it's
for something that I totally don't believe in at all. Yeah. But I think. Well, we'll wrap this up here real quick. I think we made some good points. And if anybody out there that. Like I said, I want to make some of these podcasts with someone with a little different viewpoint. We'd have a really deep discussion. If someone out there has a different viewpoint and would want to sit in, would you be up for doing? I mean, and it'd be civic. If no one be ganging up on anybody, I think we all got to learn to do that is to be civil towards each other while talking about it. It's just like you said, God's grace. We got to use God's grace. Yeah. If we want to preach it, we better start practicing it.
Yeah, and I want to kind of want to close my
go ahead
with this question. When does and this is really I think one of the most relevant questions of our time right now. Then if we like I said, if you believe in women's rights. When did those rights begin? When they're a woman or when they're a mother?
Yeah.
Okay, and when does parenthood really begin?
Yeah. When does that's a good question. I haven't thought of it that way. When does parenthood begin?
And you become a parent or you become a mother the moment the preborn child comes into existence.
Yeah.
And parents have the responsibility to take for them.
It's the prenatal care to make sure that child is as healthy as it possibly can be.
Yeah. I think one of the questions too that people are afraid of how it will turn out, and is if abortion does become illegal, which I hope it does. Yeah. People say, oh, well, people are just going to find a way to get an abortion. Well, it's still going to be illegal. That's the whole point. I know that just look at drugs. Drugs are illegal and people still find a way. Yeah. The thing is that how are we going to punish the people by sending, are we going to punish the women?
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out a way. That's another question to take consideration.
But the thing is, though, that I don't think we should, and this is from the podcast and I'll send you the link so you can listen to it.
I want to check that out.
Listen to this. Is that if somebody does have an abortion, maybe the best thing for them is not going to be jail, but we should still punish them, in a way, because they are killing. But not maybe not in the same way that we punish criminals, and that's the thing that we really need to understand and work on.
We need to really look into this and dig deeper. And that's just making, and I see it all the time on the internet, just blanket statements. We need to really put more thought into the things we believe in, and really think things through too. That's a good way to end this. And I gotta pee something fierce right now too.
So if you wanna, I guess I can. Yes, if you wanna check out this podcast, is actually on a podcast called Pints with Aquinas.
Okay.
It's making the pro-life case.
Yeah.
With Stephanie Gray.
Okay.
Stephanie Gray, she's an advocate for the pro-life. I mean, she can put things in a lot better perspective than I can. And she's not paying me to do this.
I'm not
getting paid to do this. So this is just something that I found that was very useful, and it helped me just organize my thoughts and really be able to advocate and talk about what it means for me to be pro-life. Yeah. Just that's we are the pro-life generation.
Yeah.
We are the pro-life.
Well, I think there's a lot more thought into it now than when I was I never, the truth, when I was younger, I never put any thought into it until I was married and that incident happened, and then that's what it's a different times now. There's more. I think we have more. We're more socially. I don't want to say awake. We're more involved now than we used to be. In the 80s, back in my glory days, we weren't that.
I mean, look at it.
It's a different environment now.
And we were talking about this. We went to war because people were getting killed. Right? Yeah. They were getting killed in concentration camps.
Yeah.
And obviously there was more to it, but how many people have died from abortion now?
Exactly.
So I think it only makes sense for us to really become aware of what is going on. What is our money doing for one? Because we are called. Heck, we are called. Not everybody's going to go to a March for Life. Not everybody's going to be posting posts about anti-abortion on Facebook.
But your tax money, what's your tax money going towards?
Right. But you are called to act where you are and to be responsible where you are. Yeah. And sometimes, whether it be just that's fine.
Doing a podcast.
Right, that's it. But we are called and we have to take action. If we don't take action, then it's just like any other thing. And then we're just being part of the problem at this point.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Well, hey, bud, I'm so glad you came out.
Thank you for having me over.
I'm glad you found a place. I know the road, well, the highways are good, but the side roads are a little
I've been in this part, but I've never come to this area.
That's
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
It's a good little neighborhood.
Come check out his wine. He's got some really good wine here. I'm very pleased with it. And
it's a good little neighborhood. All my neighbors, this whole square block here, we're like our own little
town,
little community. And we all. Half the time we'll be at the winery, or sometimes we'll be down at Jets, and it's just a good and tight-knit little. As a matter of fact, if something would happen to one of us, all you have to do is phone call, and every one of the neighbors would come running.
That's good.
So so beware of all you burglars out there, because you're not gonna just have to contend with the one guy. You're gonna have to contend with all the rednecks.
And that's what makes this.
That's I think we're missing in this country is tight knit. We gotta know our neighbor more too. But that's for another podcast.
Yes,
but I'm gonna let you go because I got pee something fierce. I'm about to explode. But I'm so glad you came out, and maybe George is on his way. I don't know.
George.
But
thanks for having me, and best of luck in all your projects. And,
you too,
we'll
buddy.
Looking forward to coming back and maybe having another talk sometime soon.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I hope you all enjoyed it and learned a little bit. And like I said, if you're on the opposite end of this subject, I'd like to hear from you, because and if you want to sit on and we can have I think it'd be a good discussion with someone with a little different view, and maybe really dig deeper because mainly I've had so far in this podcast somebody that agrees with me, and I want to get some different opinions out there on different subjects. Just like with immigration, we touched on a little bit, but that's why I want George to show up because I've learned some from him. I think he learned some from me. And that's how you do it. You discuss like adults, and I actually enjoy my discussions with people that I don't agree with more. So, but yeah, get a hold of me if you're interested. And like I said, I'm not gonna be smile like towards you or anything. We're not gonna gang up on you. It would be a good discussion. So, until next time, y'all have a good weekend, and we'll catch you next time on the Wawaka Experience. Bye. I gotta go pee. This beer has been working on me for the last half hour.